Sit down.
Welcome, and look at this great panel. We've got GunSlingerz. We're going to be discussing all things Arsenal, and you know what? We need to know. We're going to be in the Champions League or the Europa. What do we need? What players do we need? What combinations? How many do we need? We're going to discuss this right now.
You mute yourself, bro.
Oh my God.
That's twice, man. That's twice, you know.
Yeah.
Someone take Cannons off intro duty, man.
Take me off. Listen, I don't. Other than that, and then I'm all right. That's nuts. But hey, listen, technical hitches. It's live, and we're here. Oh my God! So, guys, great panel again. We've got Big Steph, man. What's happening, bro? What's happening?
I'm back. Yo, listen. I heard the last episode.
How's your week been, man? With everything, for the past week, with all the doom and gloom. A week's a long time in football, right?
It is. Like I'm in the next Arsenal group, yeah, and like a win, like you can't. There's so
two
much,
wins,
like
not just one.
Two wins, yeah. But even that is still like there's still pessimists and optimism, like of doubt. Like we're not gonna be where we need to be, or the type of players we need to get. We're not gonna get. It's just it's a no-win situation. Like I don't think we can ever be happy until we're actually where we are. You know what I mean,
that's the thing, though. Arsenal do that to you. That's in Arsenal. So it happens. King,
Yeah.
how you been, bro? What's happening? What's been going on in your week? How's TikTok? You've been murdering people still?
Yeah, just been busy with work, man. This job's crazy. Yeah, like, just taking it out of me, man. Just meeting after meeting. But yeah, I've done a few bits on TikTok, but yeah, just excited about the show.
Keep it dry until the end of May, then just go ham.
I've earmarked a few targets. Yeah, like I think a few of the United not have been crying about penalties and whatnot. Like, so I sent a few shots their way.
100%, and a few Tottenham people as well. Colleen, how are you doing? How you been? What's been happening? Long time no see.
I know. Right. Honestly,
welcome back.
Soon, be here every other day at this rate. Good. Life's good. My life, so it's all good. And thanks for having me back.
No, thank you. I mean, as I said, time is the most precious thing for us all, and listen, it's great to have you on and taking your time out with us, discussing all things Arsenal. I mean, listen, so today on GunSlingerz, we're going... we know we're going to be in one of the European competitions, okay? And if I remember, on the extra time, I did speak to you, Colin, and we did kind of... touch on whether or not we get into Champions League, what kind of players, and I remember you saying that it doesn't quite, you don't think it really matters which competition we're in when it comes to our transfer targets. So do you know what, without no further ado, let's just dive straight into this, right? Because I want to know, in regards to kind of, the players that we're now starting to get linked with, you've got your Osimhen, sorry. Then you've got Darwin. All these forwards now, every forward, Abraham, Abraham's has now been kind of come back into the fold, and we're talking like 50 M's for Abraham. So I mean, it's starting to get silly season yet, and we haven't even kind of, the season's not even ended. But I guess what do we need? I know obviously it's obvious that we do need a striker. There's even talk of us even getting like a midfielder, and I know in our WhatsApp chat we was talking about the likes of a Declan Rice, because listen, Chelsea have got an embargo, United are in disarray. Doesn't that leave Arsenal?
No, we're not getting Rice. We're on that kid in the river right now. We're not getting Rice. Okay.
So I guess the type of player, what you think, give me some names. Give me some names, Colleen, of the type of player, the caliber as well, that you'd think, in regards of whatever competition we're going to be in, what you feel that we could get, what are kind of realistic in terms of the price and the player that would like to actually come to the Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, I think the hottest topic at the minute is the striking options at the minute, and you've just listed off literally every candidate except for Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah.
I think we need 2 strikers, and I think this might go without saying, but depending on which one we get first will depend on the caliber that we get for the second, because I don't see us out of those pool. I don't see us getting 2 of them. That probably equals to around 120 million. I don't see that happening. I can see us either getting like Osimhen or Darwin or Gabriel Jesus. If we get Jesus, that might change things a little bit, because obviously he's out of contract next season, so we'll be able to get him for a lower fee. But in terms of keeping those caliber of strikers happy in terms of playing a 38-game season in the way we play, and in terms of budgeting wise, if we put Jesus to one side, I don't think we get 2 out of that pool, but we need 2 strikers. So one striker out of that pool, which is like what is available and very top quality for what is available, and then potentially we might need to get a second. We will need to get a second striker, but might not be in that first pool there.
Sure.
In terms of, there's so many other things. Like we're probably going to need another winger as well. I think Pepe's going to be on his way.
Yeah.
Midfielder. Lokonga's just not ready yet, and obviously we will get games, and it also depends. Is El Neni gonna go? I mean, 1 minute we think Jack has gone, the next minute we think he's staying here for the foreseeable future. We don't really know. Arteta said he wants 3 goalkeepers. That's Matt Ryan, Ramsdale, and Runnison when he comes back. Is Runnison even good enough to be a 3rd goalkeeper? I don't know.
Well, I think we've got that American keeper, haven't we?
Yeah, Matt Ryan. Yeah, he comes over as 2nd, but I don't know whether we're going to keep our academy as a 3rd and bin Runnison or not.
He's not ready, is he? He's not even
ready. Never been fine to begin with. I'm so sorry. No. The big question is Saliba. That's on every Arsenal fan's list. There's just so many possibilities, but Declan Rice is not happening. Like 3.5 years left, you're hearing silly money for him. We're talking over 100 million for Declan Rice. That sounds like a very United-like signing in terms of money, pouring all that money into an English player and then inevitably making him worse. So I'd rather them take the fall than that. Matt Turner. I was thinking of the Brighton goalkeeper.
Yeah. Do you know yeah. I think it's just come in. So, someone just hold up. Here it goes. Evening, and there you go, Matt Turner. I was thinking Matt Ryan. We had him, didn't he?
We did. Yeah. He was all right as well.
He wasn't bad, but you could see the way he was comfortable with the ball at his feet and et cetera, and I guess that was kind of a catalyst really for, I think, Arteta getting the kind of keeper that we see now in Ramsdale. With Steph, would you be happy with the names that Colin just wheeled off there, in terms of just striking options and everything that we could have? What about, say, if we got a combination of, I don't know, say like a Osimhen, and you don't think Declan Rice is going to happen, do you, Colin? But maybe like Osimhen and Tielemans, as opposed to, I don't know, could you see someone like Darwin and I don't know, what other midfield options are there out there that we can have, or that is obtainable for us? I don't know if you can give me some names, but I've got a suspicion that he's going to keep Nketiah. I really do. As much as it kind of, but I think he's going to go all out to get one big striker, be it Jesus or Osimhen or Darwin, and he's going to keep Nketiah.
But because I was even thinking like teams are going down in it with big players. Like let's say if Everton go down, do we not snap up Richarlison and have him as a left wing?
I said Richarlison, and I got slaughtered for it.
I like him, but for
I wouldn't have him as a number 9, but I'd have him as a deputise. So I put him on left wing. I bring Jesus in, and then I'll do that. But I think Arsenal, we have to be a lot smarter with our money because we don't have the budget to be smashed.
What budget do you think we're gonna have?
We probably have 200 mil, but that's to cover like 5, 6 players. No, I think we will.
Yeah, we will.
200.
Are you serious?
From the monkeys, 200.
Yeah.
With the players that we're selling as well, yeah.
Are you including like the money from sold players potentially being sold?
So I'm saying 200 mil is that's our budget.
Like
and then
before we sell anyone.
What
you got to consider, guys, is the increased prize money and the increased TV money that will come if you get like whoa you get like
spending 200 mil in one window.
Wait, we spent 150. We just spent 150.
Yeah, but we a bit of money as well.
We just spent 150 without Champions League football. We didn't sell anyone last window. We got 50 million coming in or close to it from Guendouzi and Torreira going, and we'll sell more players. But ultimately, what I'm trying to say is, just for getting Champions League alone, you get like 80 million, something stupid like that. You get like a million. You get a million every single Champions League game in the qualifying stages. And we spent 150 with no European football. Like these man,
we didn't have a choice. It was 8 twice in a row. I don't see 200 mil. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
trust me. I think Steph's right.
I'll be wrong, but
I think Steph's right.
I'll be hella surprised if we even get to 150.
To be honest, but I'm not saying we're gonna spend it, but I'm saying that's our budget. I think we've got 200 mil. Like if we need to spend it, we can. But I think we're gonna be a lot smarter with our.
Well, give me your areas and give me examples.
So
where this 200 mil is gonna go.
Okay, so areas I'll say, we need a left back, but I would say he has to be able to play both flanks. I don't want to get a right back and a left back. I want one that can play both.
Wow,
a bit like Castagnier. And then we need 2 centre mids easily, and 2 strikers, and there's your budget. And then if Pepe goes, obviously that money will come in to buy another winger, unless Reece Nelson comes back.
We're going to take a huge hit on Pepe. I would say probably about 20-25 mil we'd get for Pepe. Max.
Yeah, we'll take a hit on him. I think this is why I think in terms of being smart with the money, right? Like Gabriel Jesus can play anywhere across the line. He plays mostly on the right as well as up front for Man City. So he covers 2 positions. In terms of what Steph said about pillaging relegated clubs, this is what I'm about on Football Manager, you know. If any team goes down, even if I don't need players, I'll look through the teams that get relegated. I'm like, yeah, I'll have him. And Watford are going down. And that.
Who from the relegated teams would you take? Realistically,
Dennis.
Richarlison aside, that's a whole other topic.
I'll take Dennis from Watford, definitely, yeah, because he's an Arsenal fan for one. He's got like 14 goals this season, playing for Little old Watford, and he's got a bit. But he's not gonna. It's gonna be a low level investment. Like, you know, we're talking like 30, maybe like not. It's not going to be a great deal. I'm not talking about him being our only striker.
Yeah, but a lot.
That's a lot of money, man.
Watch him, man. Have you guys watched him?
I don't doubt his ability. I just don't think.
Yeah, we're paying 25 mil for Jesus. Now look at the quality difference between Jesus and Dennis.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is, like, you know, in terms of like, I do think we're going to get 200 million. I do. Like, I think the Kroenkes. I think the Kroenke is
Okay,
like
sorry. The question: this 200 mil, is this regardless of whatever European competition?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that when you talking about, okay, we get a mil for every win,
every group game, yeah, you get $1 million. You get
we don't get that for the Europa.
No, but you get a considerable amount of money, man. You get prize money and you get TV money as well, dependent on how you do in the competition. Right. And you got to understand, like, Oba leaving right in January was basically get his wages off the bill, and some of that would have gone into the transfer key. Guendouzi Torreira, that's like 30 million. They're already like that's agreed. Like, you got Mari. You've got Ainsley Maitland-Niles. You've got you could even sell Holding. Leonard's going to go because Leonard's not going to want to be a third choice keeper. So
Leonard's gone.
Arsenal are notoriously bad at selling for a good fee. You even mentioned Guendouzi and Torreira going for a combined.
Yeah,
I know one of them was agreed time ago. But we are so bad at getting a good quality. Apart from, I have to say, Iwobi in the change.
Yeah, how we got 40 mil for him?
I don't know how we did that.
Got Iwobi, Ox. We both got like 70 mil for two players.
That's what I mean, those two aside in the Kroenke era, being crap.
Willock was 25.
Yeah, Willock we got 25 for as well. Yeah. Like we are going to make little bits add up. I think what they'll do is they'll give them 150, and I believe that we'll make at least 50 from sales as well. So I think like that's what's going to happen. I think what I would do is I would take that 200 million, and as Steph said, I was thinking cover at right back, but I think even better if you can get someone that can cover both flanks. I like the sound of Castagni from Atalanta. Or someone in that mold that can play on both flanks. 2 central midfielders, 2 strikers, but one of the strikers has to be able to play across the line so that he's also doubling up as one of the wide players. And that's why I mentioned Dennis, and I think Richarlison does that as well. But I think Dennis is a bit more direct, like he's just a bit better on the ball, and he's a better finisher. He's a better finisher than Richarlison, man. Like, I think what I would look at, the whole Declan Rice thing, the reason why I just want to discredit that, and I really wish James is here. So, like, it's just annoying, like, am I saying Declan Rice isn't worth 100 million in today's market? Yes. Like, I don't agree with the market and the market value and how it's driven, but in today's market, relative to, other comparables in the market, he's worth the money. But we can't afford that 200 million. I think you've got to kind of look at no more than 50 million on each player, just to make sure all the gaps are covered. I'm like, a right back that's going to be backup isn't going to cost 50 million. Let's be real. We got Tomiyasu, our first choice one, and Tierney for a combined cost of we got those two for a combined cost of like 45 million, and they're our first choice right back. So I believe that we can scour the market and find a good young up and coming talent you could even probably get 2, like one for each flank, like a relatively low cost. Look at Max Aarons at Norwich, another relegated team. Take him, but in terms of the centre mid, I'm just sold on getting Tielemans because his contract's up. 25 million for me, that's a no-brainer. I'm sold on Basuma.
Do you think if El Neni, after the interview he gave like a couple of days ago, there's a potential possibility that we don't know yet, but he could stay? That could mean we only bring in one midfielder. How do you feel about that?
I don't think that will happen because Partey's injury prone and Xhaka's disciplinary record. El Neni, I think if you look at the squads that are in the Champions League, you look at Liverpool, you look at Chelsea, I could name 6 central midfielders in both their squads. You look at Man United, even though they're in the mud, like they've got that sort of number of central midfielders, so I think what you need.
We get 2. Is that what you think?
I think we have to get 2. I think we have to have at least 4. But I think I would feel more comfortable having 5 central midfielders.
I'm going to put this out there: Tielemans and Pogba.
All day.
Get the Pogba dream out your head. It's not happening.
Whoa. Listen.
This is where you get heartbreak. This is how you get heartbreak.
Okay.
£200 million budgets. We've got Pogba over here. Potentially.
Pogba's there for free, right?
I don't even want Pogba. As crazy as that sounds. I love him. He's quality. Listen, he's quality. Don't get me wrong. Technical ability wise, he is quality, but he doesn't like the profile of midfielders. He doesn't fit our midfield. I don't think. Like
you can't come at me for that Haaland for me saying I don't want Haaland.
But Haaland's profile is exactly what you need as a striker. Like he would be the other alternative striker that I would get to the one that could play across the line. Someone that could lead a line on their own, hold the ball up, link the play, bring other people in, but also finish. Can do everything.
No, you can't. You can't, bro.
About Ruben Neves.
Sorry, Colleen.
Mostly Arsenal just mentioned it. I completely forgot about Ruben Neves, who's been on the lips.
I thought about him, but after the slander that he gave Arsenal after the 2 wins that we did,
you're a bit salty.
Yeah, man. Like you know what? You can stay at Wolves. You know what I mean? Yeah, man.
Do you know what? Let me rattle through some of these comments quickly because they actually have been coming in thick and fast. So, Mr. Silver Fox, 100 mil for Osimhen. Might as well go for Haaland. Haaland's going for actually cheaper, isn't it? Because his release clause.
No, but he'll cost more.
Yeah, of course, he'll be about 500k a week.
No, it's not. It's not just that. The agent fee as well. There's an agent fee and there's an agent fee for Raniola. And that's like 50 million. And then his dad, they want his dad to get like a 30 million pound golden handshake just for being his dad. Like, I don't get it.
Just for being his dad.
The release clause is like 85 million. It's going to cost like 150, 60 million just to like actually transfer him. Then you got the exorbitant wages.
Are Man City the only team really in the world that can afford it?
Yes. Yeah. It's not happening.
No, Man United.
Real Madrid. If they get rid of players. Barcelona if they get rid of players.
I think maybe Paris Saint-Germain if they lose Mbappe, if they really globetrotter style. But I don't see Haaland going to United in the current state of what they are.
No, you won't.
You'd find it hard to find a good player to go there now after the past 7 years, to be honest.
But to be honest, me personally, I don't like. Don't get me wrong, Haaland's a great goal scorer, but ability-wise, I don't think he cuts it. I don't.
What?
Like,
to be fair, I kind of low-key agree with you.
Watch him play. Like everything, how Haaland plays here, he plays into space. He runs into space. Like, and the German league, like that's why he does well in Europe and the German league because there's a lot of space in behind defenders and whatnot. But when you like the same with Mkhitaryan looked good in the German league. When he came to Man United and Arsenal, he struggled because the space difference between the midfield and the strike and the defenders was so small that he couldn't operate. So I don't think Haaland, like the only team he can go to is Man City because they've got midfielders to exploit all that. So they can do that. And given they don't require his footballing ability for him to do well, just bag the goals. We put it on the plate for you to score them. That's it.
See, I kind of agree because I think in a different way. I think he's a top player. And if we could have him, I would take him. Yeah. I'm just not sure how he performs out of the Bundesliga. If I'm honest, with you. I'm not putting him as Mbappe, for example. The two kids, if you're comparing them, I have more faith in Mbappe being quality wherever he goes in comparison.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
Mbappe is 100% better, but Haaland is absolutely like he's built for the Premier League.
He's a beast. I mean, so we was after Vlahovic, right? And we'd probably say that they're two of the same type of players, Vlahovic and Haaland.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Would you?
There's some similarities. There are some similarities to the way they play.
I would say that at the same time. I mean, and we was desperate to get Vlahovic.
Vlahovic is more. I would say he's more in like Lukaku's mode. No. Giroud like
No.
hold up, strike, but he had pace. I'd say he's closer to that than Haaland. I don't know.
I don't know. The thing is, it just shows that really Lukaku looked like a different player when he's in Italy as opposed to he is right now.
But the reality is, like the caliber of strikers in the Premier League, and like they're not like for that type of striker, like the more physical one that can be like the focal point of an attack. There's not any good ones in the Prem. Name me one.
There isn't. I was going to say, what strikers are there really in the Premiership that you'd say?
Snap him up. Snap up. Harry Kane. Snap him
Swiftly moving on. Evening, Keith. How you doing?
I'll take him. I'll take him, but you're not thinking like you're not thinking like how that's our whole budget gone. Like Levy is he would no, he is an Arsenal fan, but I think like
guys, I said realistic targets
Yeah,
here.
Levy would just be like 300 million because it's Arsenal. Why would he strengthen us?
Oh, is he, I thought he's not going. Is his contract not running out? I swear his contract is running out, isn't it?
He's got another 2-3 years.
He's got ages on it. Yeah.
I know he's signed a 6-year contract, but I thought that's why Man City was trying to get him.
No. They're never going to be.
Okay, my bad. I thought he was coming to like 2 years or a year, something like that. Okay. My bad.
Yeah, no.
Oh my gosh, that threw me off, man. I'm...
Do you know what though? I would take him. I would take him.
You can't.
No, ever come into Arsenal.
The 40 million and £1 again. Serious.
Listen, I think I don't even know what's going to happen with obviously there's a lot of talk of how you doing, Keith, for mostly Arsenal. A lot of talk obviously about Gabriel Jesus. He's starting
back tonight
right now, because right now he's actually he got like 6 in 2 games by the looks of things. Keith's talking about good shout King on Dennis. I take it. Listen, I think there's one thing that we lack at Arsenal. A player that is one-on-one that he'll do you. Do you know what I'm saying? We don't have a player, even Saka, I'd even say. He normally he's the type of player who will play a 1-2 round you. I feel we need.
Watch Dennis, man.
That's what I'm saying. Dennis actually does.
He does that.
You up, if you're square up with
you're
him,
done.
He'll do.
He gave
and we haven't had a player like that since Henry. I mean, in terms of taking a one-on-one situation where you feel like, he's going to do something special here.
When we played at home, I watched the Watford game, and he absolutely terrorized our fullbacks. He gave him a torrid time. Yeah, like he switched, man. He got switched to the other side. Like there was not for the whole time. Like eventually they got a handle on him, but like he had phases where like he was troubling them a lot. So. I think he's someone that could grow, and again, he can play across the front line.
Goals and assists in his game, and for like Watford.
I don't know.
No, you're not sold on.
He's not for me.
He's got.
Not for me.
So I'm sure he's got 14 goals this season in the Prem.
That's ridiculous for a team where Watford. But I mean, there are flaws in his games. I have seen, but.
Listen, if we filled every area that we needed to, and we got 1 or 2 big names, and they were like, "Oh, do you know what? Do you want Dennis?" Like, I would accept it in that scenario. Of like, "Oh, okay, cool then." If it was Dennis out of any forward lines, out of being one of the 2, I wouldn't be happy. If I'm being completely honest.
Personally would take Rafinha before Dennis, and he possibly, maybe not now, depending on whether Leeds go down. Could well be available if Leeds are relegated. If Leeds are relegated,
but he's not really a striker though, is he? He's a winger.
No, but he would play on one of the wings, I believe. But hey, DWTT, good evening. How you doing, mate? I hope you're well. What's been happening?
What about Phillips? Calvin Phillips, would you take him? cheap option.
I don't know.
I would, but my concern with him would be this season, his injury record. It's been pretty bad. I don't.
Well, I think United won him. I think.
Yeah, I think.
I
think we'd have a chance of getting him over United though, because his family all Leeds through and through, and they hate United. They don't want it. Like he would seek an alternative if a club came in for him. So I think we could make him. Yeah, it'll come down to money. I think.
Eric Cantona that Real Ferdinand. So it happens, but listen, I think in essence, I know going back to Colin earlier stating that we need 2 strikers, and I think that's essentially what's going to happen.
Do we need 2 strikers, or do you reckon we could get away with a striker and a winger?
I actually I do feel we need 2 strikers. I actually well, Lacazette's gone. Yeah. That's an absolute.
No Aubameyang. So who do we have? Who's an out and out is Balogun. Potentially Martinelli, but he's not.
As Keith from Most Arsenal says here, they're not quite ready.
But that's why I say get a striker that can play on both flanks, because then it frees up Martinelli to be a striker as well. This is like signing 2 strikers for the price of 1, because you can. Obviously, I want 2. I want us to buy 2, but I want us to get 2 regardless, because again, for me, when you're looking at teams, you need 4 strikers for a team that's competing in Europe, even the Europa League. You need 4 strikers. And I'm not talking about all of them being central. I'm talking about 1 or 2 that can play as a focal point, 1 or 2 that can play as wing forwards in our system. 4 strikers or 4 goal scorers. Like 4 people that you put on the pitch to score, because they're not all central strikers or traditional number 9s anymore. So you need 4 guys that whose bread and butter is putting the ball in the back of the net, and that's why I think
we need 2 of, in my opinion. And that's why I think Gabriel Jesus will probably be a good thing for us in terms of, because he can play up top and, as you say, anywhere across the front 3. But we definitely do need a caliber of striker, and in terms of a big man, I kind of get that, and I think that's what Arteta wants: someone who has a presence in the box, a physical presence that can rough up defenders. Maybe Darwin does that. I mean, there was a lot of talk of Isak, wasn't there, in January?
I like him as well.
Yeah, even though physically he's probably not the most imposing, but someone like
young. I don't think he's ready, actually. I think we need someone out and out proven who's like a killer already. I don't think he's
any names?
I mean, I think our eggs have to be in the Jesus basket, to be honest with you. Yeah. I like Darwin as well. I really like him. I don't see him being an Arteta type of striker.
In terms of the budget, those 2 players could work. I mean, if we get Darwin for between 40 and 50, and then Jesus is probably cost between
Darwin's going to cost more than that. Darwin's going to cost more than that. Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah, he is. People are being quoted like 80, 90 million for him.
Do you know what? That always happens though. It's always inflated, I feel. All the paper talk, etc., etc.
No.
But then
someone's going to pay that much money for him, I promise you. Because of the performances in the Champions League as well.
Right.
It won't be less than 65, something like that. It's not going to be 40, 50. No way.
Okay, so let's just say that then. So let's say he is 65, okay? And Jesus is 30, 35. So that's 100 million gone. Then a cheeky free transfer of Paul Pogba and a Tielemans for 25 mil.
That's a madness.
Look, I'll tell you what I would do, yeah? Tielemans, 25 mil, contract expiring. Yeah. Basuma, 40, 50 million. I think we can get him for. So let's just call that.
Remember, we've got 200 mil, yeah? Or 150 mil.
Yeah. So let's call that 70 million. Yeah, 25. Let's call it 75. Yeah, let's say Bissouma's 50. That's definitely going to cover him. And then Jesus, he's going to be like 30, 35 million because he's only got a year left on his contract. So I've got 3 players there for 110 million. And then in terms of Castani, I would probably earmark 20 to 25 million to get another fullback. And then I would go all out, like the rest of it. Yeah, 20 to 25. So let's say that leaves 70 million. All of that would go on a striker, like a bad boy striker, like a David, Isak, Gakpo as well. I've forgotten about him as well. He's available for like 30, 40 million. So there's options, man.
You know what?
Like,
this
definitely options.
The worry I have is that I think there's going to be a massive curveball in the summer, regardless of whatever happens in terms of the players that we're going to get and all the players that we're kind of bandering about, all the names and everything. Maybe one of them will actually come in, but in terms of squad and what we need, it's going to be a huge balancing act. And the thing is, though, I know you're talking about us getting 200 mil.
We will, bro.
Do you honestly feel that
how much you want to bet? I'll bet you £20. We spent 200 mil.
You would have sold sold your house, or your clothes for that we was getting Isak, and that didn't happen, did it?
No. But but trust me.
No,
if
you had the same energy.
But the only reason they did put a bid in for him. They did put a bid in for him, and Sociedad insisted that we pay the release clause.
Yeah,
and we said nah, we're not doing that. So that's silly, man. That is silly, man. Yeah,
so
it was like 85 million euros. Something.
Do you honestly feel that the ambitions of us fans and what is required, whether it be Europa or Champions League, that those ambitions will be matched by the owners?
Absolutely. You do realise that in the last 5 years, there's only one club or two that spent more than us in England, right? We've still got this lingering stigma that we don't spend money. Like in the last 5 years, we've been one of the biggest spenders in Europe. We've just spent it badly. Yeah. Whereas the previous 5 years, we weren't spending at all. And when we did spend, we were spending badly. Like we were doing both. Yeah. But actually, the last season, we spent more than any club in Europe. So where is it? Why are we holding on to this notion that our owners don't want to spend money? They are spending money.
Last season, if they wanted to continue being owners of Arsenal, not have the Emirates burnt down after 2 seasons finishing 8th, they really didn't have a choice. I think now is where we see, are the Conkeys serious? Are they serious with Arsenal, getting Arsenal back to the top like they were almost literally 15, 20 years ago? And time is getting on as well. Like we're turning into Liverpool a little bit. I think right now, I don't really care from last season. In my opinion, they didn't have a choice. They literally did not have a choice if they wanted to keep that Emirates still standing.
Mm-hmm.
The next season come in, and the following one, we can see what they're all about. Let's not get excited just because they spent that last season. This is how they.
It's not. 1 minute. You can say whether they want to keep the Emirates standing. We're still one of the highest tickets sales, in Europe.
I mean, in terms of fan revolt,
fan revolt. Yeah, but it wouldn't have been. Yeah, but it can't be that much of a fan revolt if the ticket prices are still high.
Listen,
the
weren't.
Isn't as full as you think it is.
No, but it is. It has been a lot more full this season. And if they were to get Europe and then come crashing out because they weren't ambitious enough, then they'll face a bigger backlash. Like they're not. They're not.
Last season, we finished 8th for the second time in a row. We had to spend like a big amount. Like they couldn't get away. What Arsenal fan would have tolerated them just spending like say 50 mil last summer?
It was crazy. It was crazy with the whole thing with the European Super League, and then they could never not spend that type of money what they spent, because
what I'm saying is we need to keep the pressure on their necks. Like I'm not
100%. You're right.
100%. I don't want to take that as like, oh, that's good. No, it will be good once all this spending has equaled, you know, a European title or going far in the Champions League or challenging for the Prem and getting the Prem. Our next target should be investing heavily this summer, not just to even go far in the Champions League. It's to actually make sure we're back in the top four and becoming a top four team again that we were ridiculed for Wenger. That's what we need to go back to, because we're going to become a title challenger next season. I mean, it's a possibility, but it's unlikely. It's
not a reality. Yeah.
Like me personally,
we need to make the most. I think that's what they'll do as well, because they'll be like, look, we don't know. Top four won't be guaranteed again next season, or Europa League might not be guaranteed again next season with Newcastle and all these other clubs. Aston Villa are going to invest big. They got rich owners. Man United aren't going to be as bad. Tottenham aren't going to be as bad. They'll invest heavily. So they will basically look at it and be like, right, this is the chance. Like, we're in the ascendancy now. We need to just seriously invest now. And look, we make enough money, man. Like, where's this notion like we're out here hand to mouth? We're one of the richest clubs in the world. We're easily in the top 10 for revenue generation. Do you know what I mean? We got money. Like, it's not this notion that like we're like scrimping under the mattress to try and rub the pennies together. It's not true. Like, and yeah, like I said, if you look at the spending behavior of the club in the last couple of years, they've tried to spend money. They've just not spent it properly. So now that they found a winning formula of how to spend money, why are they going to just stop? They're not going to do that. Do you know what I mean? Like, they are going to spend money. They do want, they are ambitious. It's just the pace of the ambition doesn't match ours. That's the difference. I wanted them to invest in January. Yeah. But that doesn't mean they're not going to invest in the summer. Like, so turning around and saying, oh, well, you expected them to invest in January and they didn't. It is not like a mitigation for, they're not going to drop at least 150 million and tell him, keep the money and reinvest what you can make from sales on top of that. They will do that.
So, kind of quick question.
Sorry, go ahead.
The positions that you want, what do you feel we need?
We definitely need a body in in defense.
What, centre back or fullback?
No, a fullback. I really do. As much as I think there's too much of a drop off when one of the fullbacks is injured. We definitely need an actual starting a top midfielder. I actually think what they're going to do in the summer is get a top midfielder and a top striker.
Just 3 players.
No. What they're going to do is they'll get a top striker and a top midfielder, and they'll probably do a little bit of what they did in the summer with your likes of your Tomiyasu's, trying to be creative with the other areas. That's what I feel that they're going to do, is like your players, your Gakpos, what you just mentioned, there will probably be that, the cheaper end of around the 25 and 30 million euros or whatever. But
I want us to get Gakpo. He's the one that I'd prefer him to Dennis, definitely. Like, even though Dennis is Prem proven, I'd rather have Gakpo.
I just feel that in order for us to progress as a team and go forward and actually kind of solidify top 4 credentials, even if we don't make it this year, but to make that good push for it, a strong midfielder and an absolute beast of a forward is going to be an absolute prerequisite. Because if you check it, the first 11 is not bad. It just needs those 2 players. I feel, for me, is that's where it's lacking. It's a partner for Partey and someone as a proper focal point up top.
I'm close to saying Partey. I ain't even lying there. I'm this close to saying Partey should be a squad player. That's how close Partey is getting on my nerves with his.
Are you
100%?
I think one of the reasons why I feel that he is getting injured is because he's doing too much.
He isn't though. He actually isn't. Like you have to. I don't know. Like
a squad player.
Like as in like rotation. Yeah. Like that's the caliber. Like I'm saying, that's the caliber that our bench should be at. And if he got bench,
wow,
I'll take it. And we brought in like, yeah, man, because he's look. I'm not getting on the performances, but I'm saying like his I don't know what it is. He's like his attitude to us doesn't seem like he doesn't. I don't feel like he has the same respect for us and Arteta as he did for Atletico Madrid and Simeone.
How are you coming to that conclusion?
It's just the way his attitude when he gets injured, he would just walk off, or he just sit, like he doesn't do anything to stop play or this. Yeah, honestly, man, it's the little things. It's the little thing you can tell. Like if he's on the Simeone, if he's hamstring pulled up on the Simeone, he's crawling. Do you know what I mean? He's crawling to get back.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a bit bemused with that. I mean, there's talk of him coming back that little bit earlier than because he's on a treadmill.
Yeah.
I just think he's just one of those kind of players. You know, he's not loud and outspoken. To me, he's one of those kind of people who's like you can tell he's strong as ox, okay, and he doesn't need to shout or whatever to get his point across. He's one of those players who will probably just give you that kind of look, and you'll be like, oh shit, okay, I know he means business. He's just quietly understated, and he goes about his business. He doesn't need to shout. He doesn't need to do anything, crazy. I think it's just his personality, the way he is. But I listen. He came to us from Atletico Madrid, man. I can't. For someone.
I can't hear what Steph said, man. I'm sorry, man.
in terms of someone who's coming in for the project and coming in for what he's bought into what Arteta's trying to achieve, and I think he's on board. I don't think there's any issues with his
it's not so much
with his attitude. I really don't, and I think Arteta sees him as an integral part. He's probably him, and I'm going to go on a limb here. I'll probably say him and Saka are probably that close to being world class.
Who?
The only two world class. Him and Saka are probably that close to being the world class in our squad at the moment. Nah, not having that. Not having Saka.
Before the Palace game, he had like the third highest like successful dribble rate of like all the 5 top European leagues. Partey. Like his passing, threading the eye through a needle, his tackling, his interceptions. Yeah, they're all on point.
He's such a good player. I think the thing is that
the only thing he shouldn't do is shoot. Like, that's the only thing, man. Those shots, man. But then he'll go and play for Ghana and he'll shoot and he'll score. Like, I just don't get it. Like,
Neves. Let's talk about Neves. I mean, could he dovetail with Xhaka? Not Xhaka. Flipping egg with Partey.
I think he could.
I think we need midfielder. We need a centre mid that can play with either one of those two, not just one of them, because Partey is not reliable in terms of his injury record. So we need, if Neves comes in, he's going to be able to need to play with Xhaka in a 2-man midfield. It can't just be Neves and Partey. Because it's like we've seen when it's Xhaka and Partey, the minute Partey left, we brought in the Congo to play with Xhaka, and it went tits up. And then Xhaka was going into left back, and it went horrible. So we need midfielders that can play with every centre mid that we have, and when we call upon them, they can deliver straight away. Not needing like 3 or 4 or 5 games to get into the one of things, like an El Neni type, but with quality. Personally.
So I want to ask you all actually, what are, in terms of improving the first 11, okay, because that's essentially what the transfer market, what we would need to do. What position or players need to be replaced in order to improve our first 11? Colleen, I mean yourself in terms of, can you identify an area where you feel like actually we need a proper improvement on this particular position, and what player would you go for that? I mean, because I think I think we're going to get 2 worldies and then everything else will be padded out. I mean, is it? I don't know. Talk to me. I mean, that's what I feel. What realistically is going to happen is that if we are going to get 150, 200 mil, a large chunk of that will be spent on 2 players. Is there a particular area you can identify that would need to be approved on for our first 11?
I think maybe this is me like being too sentimental to a lot of like the Haaland boys and how they've been performing and wanting to see them grow as our project grows and whatnot. I mean, I think we've all said out and out, like we need a striker comes in. I feel like that goes without saying almost. Like a striker walks straight into his first 11. I kind of feel like we need another, if it's going to be another top quality player, I would prefer for it to be in midfield. But I think it needs to be at the level, if it's as in top quality, as at the level of Partey, where, okay, they might not start in our first 11 initially, but be at that top quality where they're providing that competition for when Partey goes on like a 3-month stinker again.
When, not an if, it's when.
If, Xhaka, is unavailable, or injuries, that sort of thing. It's more so, and then a judge from there who can be starting. The only one I can be 100% confident in is a striker, because we just don't have a top quality striker. Anyone who's playing there is getting kicked out, and I think that enables your in particular your Ødegaards and Smith Rowe, because when we have a fully fit squad that we have now, we don't really see Ødegaard and Smith Rowe play together once we have everyone fully fit in that team. And I think that's a good thing. Even though they're different players, it just provides a nice bit of competition. And the same goes for your Martinellis. And I think that's kind of what we need. We need a top quality striker and a top quality midfielder of the level of your Parteys and like a Gabriel, if it is going to be Gabriel Jesus, but like a top striker that is at least providing that competition and like growth for Martinez being moved into that position.
Yep.
So I don't know, maybe I'm being too nice on the lads. I don't know, maybe I'm being too nice, but I'm also very Tyranny as well. I think he gets injured far too much, not gonna lie to you.
We bought him like that though. Yes, remember?
Sorry?
We bought him like that.
I know. And it's driving me nuts. It's driving me nuts. I love the guy. I love him. But there's no point in me loving him if I see him for only half the season.
True, absolutely. No, but that is the thing, and that's the kind of thing that how much do you with the amount of games that's going to happen next year for us? We're going to need as much, obviously injuries and suspensions happen. But
that's the other thing that I wanted to talk about. Like, we need to take the squad numbers up to at least 22. Personally, I'd want a 25-man squad.
I think Arteta said that, 25.
Yeah, so Arteta said 25, and apparently the board are saying we'll give you enough to get 22. So he's being made to compromise on that. But you need a 25-man squad. The reason being, you need 3 keepers, you need 1 player in each position, light for light cover. And then you just need 1 or 2 just outliers, that are just there, like on the peripheries, that are like playing their way into the first team squad, ready for the ones that are getting on a bit, that aren't going to be there forever. Just training around and just obviously so they can be there just in case they're needed as well.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. But I mean, in terms of the positions that you feel that we would need in order to improve our first 11, to carry on the improvement of Arteta's process, where would you feel that would be needed?
I'm with Colleen. Like, the Haaland boys, Ødegaard and Martinelli, they've got like 44, 45 goal involvements between them. And that's while supplying 2 strikers for parts of the season.
Yeah.
Couldn't hit a barn door. So what are they going to do with an elite level striker that can not only finish their dinner, but if it's the right sort of profile, like someone that can also bring them into play and link up the play with them a lot better, then you'd expect their output to go up, along with just their improvement from their coaching and their general day-to-day training. I don't see any problem with them. You know, Tomiyasu, I don't see any problem with him, other than maybe sometimes it would be nice to have a fullback that can go forward on the right-hand side, that can be a bit more adventurous. But he's no slouch going forward. But obviously, you know, there could be a better thing there. What I'm really looking at is, like I said, bringing in a striker that can play across the line means Martinelli is now freed up. Can I play him as a central striker? You bring in a cover at right back, then you've got a situation, right, Tomiyasu can double up as a centre-back. That's his natural position. I'm looking at I'm more looking at improving the squad, not in terms of bringing in the personnel. It's like the personnel quality. I'm more looking at there being more tactical fluidity between the players that we've currently got and bringing players in that allow us to have more options. You know, Ben White could play on the right. He has played in midfield. You know, Tomiyasu going as a centre-back, does that mean
we have Saliba coming back, right?
Well, you got Saliba coming back. Does that mean Ben White can go in midfield? You know, like Ben White can go on the right. That's what I want to see. I want to see a squad where it's like malleable, where like players can be moved around because there's enough cover in their position to be able to allow you to do that. And I think the key areas to do that in is right back and on the wings, and obviously left back as well, with the problem that Colleen pointed out of just him he's never going to be a player that's going to be fit for 38 games a season. Like, we might as well just reside to that now. He's always going to be a 20, 25 game a season, man, and it's annoying because he's perfect in every way. Like, but
that's such a shame. I mean, listen, we forgot about a name, didn't we? Nabry. Flip's sake.
Even him, I was literally about to say, or even I'd take Sane. We could even put Sane as an option.
I think Gnabry's more of an option. But, sorry,
we could get either of them.
Yeah, well,
I think Gnabry would be more obtainable than Sane.
Why?
Maybe more obtainable. I don't know. I think if he comes back to the Prem, he comes back to Arsenal.
He's leaving.
No, he said that.
He's leaving.
He hasn't said he's leaving. He's trying to renew a contract for a big boy wage. He hasn't said he's leaving. I think
he's leaving.
But why do you not think Arteta could get Sane after what Sane done with him at Man City?
Because Bayern Munich,
He's not
there yet to match his ambition, to be honest with you. I don't know.
But
we haven't got the pull for Sane, man.
So again? We
haven't got the pull for Sane, man. Go Bayern Munich and take their main players. Yeah, we don't. Of course we don't.
Oh, the pull. Oh, yeah. Maybe
they're
not.
the pull.
I don't think Sane is. I don't think Sane is their main player as he thought he was going to be. That's the thing. He's not actually getting the minutes that he was what I feel that he expected to get going back to Bayern Munich.
And Jed Spence, I think he would fit the profile of the type of player that these guys would go for. Young, under 22, and someone that, you know, in terms of how much we could get him for, I think that would be something we could actually work with. That's the type of player who will be like one of your fillers going forward.
But I heard you said that Man U's his dream club.
Yeah.
Are they going to go for him though, mate? You know, like.
Well, I don't know. With how Wan-Bissaka's playing, I could see them shopping him off.
Yeah. Steph, man, Gums is calling you wild, bro.
Listen.
No, me and Steph keep getting into it in these things, man. Honestly, yeah. Serious, yeah. No, it's all good though, man. It's all good.
This was after your party comments. So yeah, they were just clearly what. So yeah. Listen. So all right, let's get just last knockings really on the topic. In terms of obviously we've got 6 games left. Sorry, 4 games left, isn't it? How many games we've got left? Sorry.
Five.
Sorry,
5.
yeah, 5 games left.
We got
So
we've got West Ham, then we've
West Ham,
got
Leeds,
Leeds, then we've got Tottenham, then we've got Newcastle, then we've got Everton.
Anyone going to any of the games, the home games that are coming up?
Me and my housemate are trying to get West Ham tickets as we speak.
Are you going to West Ham? Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to get Everton once, but I'm going to go Barcelona. It's on the same day. I'm going to go Barcelona to watch the Villarreal Barcelona game.
Okay,
game that just seems awful to me. It could really be too much for my heart. It could be because the scenario could be Everton are fighting to stay up, and we need a win to get into the top 4.
That would be just.
What? I don't need that. Don't need it in person. Thank you.
True.
I actually want Everton down, but no. But to be sorted before the end, before the last game of the season. Then I'll be happy with that.
I'd either want them to have enough points to stay up or to go down, but I don't want them to go down, because they're like
I want Everton down. I hate that place.
No, man. After us, they've got the second longest record of competing in the top division of English football.
Yeah,
even more reason for them to go down.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, not really. Like it's just a bit like it would be a bit tragic. Yeah.
Yeah, I like them.
They're the original Liverpool club, man.
Yeah, they're a bogey team as well. Honestly, I love it. I love them. I want them to stay. I don't like their stadium though. I'll give them that. I hate their stadium.
Yeah,
the stadium.
Proper throwback stadium, isn't it?
No, man. Everton can go, man. Get the money out.
Silver Fox. Listen,
Richarlison's not bad, you know.
Thank you.
I've come around to the idea. I said the same thing. I've been watching him recently.
I think it's decent. I think he could do.
He's another agent of chaos, though. He is.
Yeah.
Agent of chaos in what way?
I just wanted to touch on.
Did you not watch the derby this weekend? He was just kicking people about the place and stuff, bro.
Yeah, but that's what they're doing. That's what you do in derbies. That's what derbies are about. Derbies that do that.
I don't know, man. I mean,
he's a wild card, man.
The fact that he's not really an Evertonian, whatever they call themselves, and he's taking the sentiment of doing that in the derby. I'd rate that. That's what we was doing when we was playing Spurs, or Man United doing when they played Liverpool and whatnot, or Man City. You know what I mean? That he doesn't do that. That's not his everyday game, is it? And he very rarely gets a lot of bookings. I give you that, but he never really gets like red cards or things like that.
Thank you, Gumza. Sorry, there. Gumza's all right. Why don't you look pipe up in the WhatsApp chat?
He definitely needs to improve his shooting and his finishing. But I think, do you know what I've started thinking? Right, is looking at how the shooting and the finishing has improved of like the 4 attacking players that we've got in Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, and Odegaard. Like, if he can improve their finishing, then I think if he can bring a player in with an all-round game, and we can back him to do the same thing with those guys. Sterling says a lot about how he helped him in front of goal, and so does Sane. As Steph was mentioning about Sane, you know, like Arteta has transformed people's fortunes in front of goal, definitely.
Do you know what? I'm going to second you, and this is why I'm going to seamlessly move on to Tavares. Okay, just a quote. Okay, from Arteta. Just first off, Gumza answering our question. He wants a CM and a striker and a maybe left-sided centre back that improves the 11. And yeah, I think you're right with that.
Saliba's the centre back, man.
Yeah,
already.
Absolutely. So obviously, we're in regards to into the aftermath of the game against United, where Tavares had a bit of a stinker and the crowd was shouting, because I was there and I could just hear him and I was one of them. I admit, get him off.
I could hear him, but
yeah. I was like, get him off! Come on, man.
We can't do this at this stage of the season, man.
No, you're right.
Do you know when I went to the Wolves game? Yeah, the guy sat in front of me did it, and then he scored. Yeah. And then because I looked like him, they all turned around and they grabbed me and they were shaking me and they were like, Lacquer! It was hilarious.
No, I'm talking about, so in terms of Tavares, this is what Arteta said. He says, we have to help him. He needs to go through these experiences to understand, okay, what triggered that moment. When you go from here to there and give him support. We know, I've said this many times, the bill that you have to pay with these players is that they have never experienced this. So they're going to make mistakes and they're going to make decisions that from here, it's very easy to say, why have you done that? But they are there on the pitch and let's give them support because they need it.
Well said. My manager.
That's our manager. And I think, it says a lot about Arteta, I think, and the way, because first and foremost, he's a coach, right? And that is a coach's job in terms of the players that you have, you need to bring them on. I know Colin, you's quite critical of Tavares, our captain chaos.
I would say that if we're going to see, Arteta's weight in gold as a coach, it'll be through how he improves Tavares. So let's see. I want to be surprised. I want to be.
There is a player in there, whether or not he can get
just
it out.
Bozo, yes. Clown, something. The lights are on, but no one's home. That's kind of the vibe.
That's so harsh. When someone says the lights are on, but no one's home.
It's like that. I love the kid, but he makes it hard. He makes it hard. I'm telling you.
He does. But I thought that was really nice.
My agent of chaos. My agent of chaos, man.
Absolutely.
A man of my own heart. That's what he is.
Like, with Tavares is what you have to remember. He's a young player and he's coming to the Premier League, complete different league. The responsibilities that he was doing from where he came from to what he's doing now, like football. Obviously he was an attacking. You can tell he's an attacking fullback.
Yeah,
I mean, you literally can tell that. So where he came from, you can tell like he was just literally just an attacking fullback. He didn't really have much defensive responsibilities as he's required in the Premier League now. So now he's getting exposed a little bit, but again, like I said before, like
it's experience.
Exactly, and because he's not getting much game time, he's a young kid. You can't have a player out for like 10, 15 games and not play nothing, and then bring him into a game and expect him to perform. Like El Neni can do that because he's a seasoned pro, and he can, you know what I mean. But these young guys, you have to allow them to make mistakes.
I still maintain that bringing him in for that Palace game was massive, and it put him on an uneven keel. You know, like the amount of pressure that was on that game, back from an international break. You know, you're playing to maintain the good form you had before it. I think it was like literally like the day before, like when it was like Tierney's injured. Like he found out like really late, so he's not had a chance to like internalize it. And then he's thrown on, and like look, the players they got, man, Zaha, you know, like that McKeith. I can't say his name. The guy that scored. Miketia.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they got Eze, Gallagher. Like these are no one's mugs, man. These are good players. Like they're good players, you know. Like, so I just think his confidence was absolutely shattered after that going into the next games. And then I think Arteta didn't manage it well because Arteta dragged him. And like I always maintain, like look, Arteta is my manager, by the way. Like I'm not. I don't want to make this. I'm not slandering him, but
what would you do? Though?
I think honestly, like it's worse. It's worse. Like it's worse to drag the player in that. Like when they're a young player, if it's a seasoned player, it works the other way. To what Steph was saying, if it's a seasoned player and you've had a bad game, you drag them. They've experienced it more, so they can internalize it more. But it's a young player. You know, he's had a bad game, and instead of letting him play his way back into it, you've dragged him, and then you put him back in. So, you know, then he's like had that gap, and it's like it's just that pressure's mounted up on him. You know, like I just.
But what should
name.
Arteta done? Not what should have Arteta done?
Yeah, I mean, just briefly on that, I feel like it's a results business, football, right?
Yeah,
and
there you
the thing is, if you can see that something's not working, you've told him, you've pulled him, you've dragged him, and said, "Look, fix up. You got X amount of time. If I still see you're getting murdered, I'm gonna have to take you. You have to. It's damage limitation at that point, and I feel that's what he's done. And listen, the kid's got character at the end of the day because he's come back. Fair enough, the last couple of games has been a bit shaky, but listen, he's putting himself available out there, and he's doing not the job, he's doing a job of some sort. Let's hope he improves. That he's got to improve. Just one thing, we're just going to finish off this from Guna Gumza. Gumza's our resident tactician. He's a coach, and he does our breakdown. He's anything to do with coaching and seeing where the actual games have been won and lost. He'll expose it. He'll tell us where the goals come from. So in terms of improving our first 11, he's talking about bringing in a left-sided centre back. And Gabriel, weakest out of the back four. Do we agree with that?
Nope. I could not agree. I could not agree with less with that statement. Gabriel is the better of the two for me. But Ben White carries out a very important role because he's the conduit between the defense and the midfield. He's the guy that's carrying it out, passing and distributing the ball into midfield. But in terms of like the defensive side of the game, like the tackling, the intercepting, the winning balls, winning headers, organizing the defense, that's all Gabriel. Gabriel's
but I get what you're saying. Gabriel's weakest because
I was waiting for Mr. Fox to pipe up there.
I feel Gabriel, a lot of the mistakes do come through Gabriel though. When we score, when we concede, the errors. I see Gabriel making more errors than Ben White.
You've got to give context to that though, because that's how the partnership works. Yeah, so the partnership is like Gabriel is the sweeper, so he's the last line of defense. He sits a little bit deeper than Ben White. Ben White sits in front of him, so that when we're springing counters, Ben White gets the ball and he goes forward. Gabriel is literally playing as the last man of defense, like the last line of defense. So,
here's the context. What about that one when someone played? I can't remember who it was, but someone played a through ball, but he tried to intercept it. He tried to run out
against Palace.
Intercept it, sliding, and he missed it. Was it against Palace?
My dog. At 24 years old, you got to get these mistakes out of your system now.
Maybe again, I agree with that.
At 26, he'll do that a lot less. At 27, he'll probably do that never.
Maybe.
Colleen,
it's just one of those, man.
Your opinion in terms of the two central defenders?
Oh God! Firstly, just shout out Latte Firm, another brilliant panel. Thank you for coming on and watching. In terms of the central defenders, I think. For me, I don't know if it's been the same for everyone else. I've never been parked firmly in one camp or the other. Yeah. I feel like there's been a run of 3-4 games where you could say Ben White has edged it over Gabriel, and then you see Gabriel go on like 2-3 games where he's had like a phenomenal game.
Mm-hmm.
I think I really like Gabriel, but if you're asking me who do I trust the most, if I had to pick between both of them, I'm in Ben White's camp. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think he's just been a bit more experienced. Been a bit more consistent for me and what I like to see from a centre back, as well as his temperament, which I'm not saying Gabriel hasn't curbed on and worked on. It's not like he's crazy, but out of the two, I think Ben White is where I'm sitting on at the minute. But I'm not asking for either of their heads at the minute. They've still got another season together. I think Gabriel's even still learning English, so we'll see. I mean, even with Saliba, does he even walk into? I know he's having a great season in the French in Uber Eats, shall we say Uber Eats League, let's say. But does he? I like Saliba, but does he walk into his first 11 in the Prem, given his age as well? I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I'm not saying he's not good. I just don't see him walking into it.
Personally, what I would do is I would get rid of Holding and get another centre back. And I know Tony's going to come. I know Tony's going to come from my head.
You're going to trigger him.
I know he's going to come from my head. I don't care.
His hair out
I've said that all along. Like, I think Holding is good. Don't get me wrong. But I think he can be improved on.
So
that's what I'm saying.
Get Holding. So get Holding. As well.
I'd get rid of Holding and I'd get rid of Holding and Armoury.
I'd get rid of 5 without Holding. Who's going to come and initiate that protocol Arteta keeps doing to shut up shop?
No, but I think what we could do is improve there, like, and probably bring in a bit more of an experienced centre back. He is Holding is 26, so he's not for his age. His age would suggest his experience, but there was large periods like in his earlier 20s where he wasn't playing. He's not got a great deal of game time, so I think I would definitely sell him and Mari. I would keep both of those guys, Ben White and Gabriel, and I'd bring back Saliba and I'd get one more centre back. Again, centre backs, you need 4 of them. Definitely.
I'd keep Holding and just obviously integrate Saliba back into the squad. But hey, what do I know? That's what Arteta gets paid his big bucks for, right? Guys, I just want to obviously end it there. And another. Sorry, 1 second. Here we go. He's coming for you. I said
what I said, man.
Yeah, White and Gabriel make mistakes are reason I feel Luis should have been part of the squad. Similar to Laka, Luis knows what Arteta wants, even though he can't perform 100% of the time. Maybe, I mean, Luis could have.
I get that.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get what you mean.
He can give his experience to those 2 guys as well. You know, like this is what our squad. If in fact, to go back to your question, just before we go, if we was improving the squad again, it wouldn't just be like a player. It would. I want to see us bring in more experienced players in general across the board. I want these ones to be like at least 25, like Jesus upwards. It's just to balance the squad a bit more, man. Like. Yeah, they need help in that area, man. Bit more leadership as well. Well, Gabriel's definitely the more rash of the 2, but you know, when you are the sweeper and you're making the last ditch tackle.
Gums has already pointed out that we don't play with a sweeper. Yeah.
No, but what you get what I mean. Like he is definitely the one that when Ben White goes forward, what is he doing? He's obviously staying back, right? When Ben White's carrying the ball out, right? So, you know, if there's a counter transition where Ben White's tried to go forward and that's broken down, he's the one that's told to stay. He's given less license to go forward. So, I don't.
The centre mid fullback a little bit more.
Yeah, listen, that I feel is like if he does go on a foray forward, then someone like El Neni would just tuck in with Gabriel.
But Gabriel never goes past the halfway line, does he? Unless it's for a set piece. No,
I've seen him have a few forays. He's not as comfortable as Ben White anyway. Going
nowhere near. Yeah,
he's not as comfortable. But guys, listen, I want to draw a line under it there, and it's been great to obviously discuss all of this with you guys. Obviously, this summer's going to be huge. Regardless of what European competition you're in terms of the process to maintain that progress, because obviously the last 2 seasons just kept coming 8th. It was literally us standing still. I'm actually excited about the summer. I don't know about you guys, but I feel those 2 areas will be addressed: your centre midfielder and a striker, and I can't wait. I can't wait. Again, Colleen, everything that if you can for everyone, new viewers, etc. If you can just let us know where we can find you, your socials, everything. Again, you know, thank you for coming on. It's been a blast. It's been a pleasure.
Well, thank you for having me. And as Latte Firm popped up in the chat, I am a good friend of the Latte Firm and on Latte Firm as well.
Brilliant content.
Paris,
amazing content.
find me there. But yes, shout out to FK and Latte Firm. Great Arsenal channel.
Fantastic. And Steph and King, obviously you are our residents. You are special, Steph. Remember that. Little private joke. But guys, seriously, thank you so much. And you know what? We're going to draw a close to the stream tonight. And listen, we've got another big week in terms of streams. We've got the preview and reactions that are going to obviously come up this weekend for the West Ham game. Gumzo, man, if you're listening, if you're still on, we need a breakdown from you, man. Seriously, we're missing these breakdowns. So, and King, I'm not going to draw you out. You know what to do. In terms of TikToks and stuff, we'll obviously be seeing them coming in. But listen, guys, I want to thank you all. And listen, man, it's big. I can't wait for the summer. Guys, thank you.
Best, bro.
Thanks, guys.